Hello and welcome to the Australian String Quartet's 30th anniversary season. I'm Stephen King, the violist, Sharon Draper, the cellist, and we have some other wonderful guests joining us this year.
We do. We're really so excited to invite many of our good friends and colleagues on violin to guest with us for our national series tours this year. For the first national subscription series, we have Wilma Smith on first violin. Wilma was the concertmaster of the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra for many years, and before that she was the first violinist of the New Zealand String Quartet. We're very lucky to have Cameron Hill on second violin join us for this tour. Cameron was the winner of the Young Performers Award competition, and he was also one of the founding members of the Hamer Quartet based in Melbourne.
In this concert we're celebrating two anniversaries. There's our 30th, but that's also the anniversary of 100 years of the landing in Gallipoli. And because of this, we've, through the generosity of the Ian Potter Cultural Foundation, commissioned a work by Ross Edwards. It's a fantastic work. It's very evocative. He asks for a veiled ambience, doesn't he?
Yes, with the stage lights down and just sconces on the music stands. We're opening the program with one of the pieces that the original ASQ played in their inaugural concert 30 years ago, which is Haydn's Emperor String Quartet.
It's part of a set of 6 that he wrote near the end of his life. It's an amazing set of quartets, and this one in particular is based around the national anthem that he wrote for the Emperor of France. When he'd heard the British national anthem. He'd been in England a lot and he wanted to build up patriotism back home. The quartet is based around the second movement, this little theme, which also later became the German national anthem. The rest of the work is incredible. He's used some of the material from that, and the last movement is crazy. It comes out of this really fun waltz movement, the minuet and trio, which is in a major key, and then suddenly in C minor he has these really shocking chords. And one of his reasons for that was the music had moved from these salons into the concert hall, as you'll hear it today, and so that's what this music was purpose written for. And then the final development is just crazy.
It is nuts.
I think it goes everywhere. He's going into all these keys that you wouldn't expect in the classical period. He's really opened the way for the quartet writing to come from Mozart and Beethoven. They're fantastic quartets.
The final piece on our program is Shostakovich's third string quartet. It was considered by the composer himself one of his finest works. It was written in 1946, which was just about the time that Stalin's government was beginning its cultural attack on artists of all sorts, musicians, composers, writers, and also scientists. And Shostakovich was well aware of this at the beginning of his composition of this piece. It was banned very, very shortly after its premiere performance. The public weren't to hear it again for a very long time. The Beethoven String Quartet premiered this piece. They had some rehearsals with the composer himself. The quartet members said that they have never seen Shostakovich so visibly moved by one of his own works. They performed each movement and waited for the composer to make some comments on the score, but the composer remained silent in his armchair. By the time they got to the end of the 5th and last movement, they looked over and saw him sitting there silent in his armchair with tears streaming down his face. He couldn't utter a word. It's quite an incredible journey, an incredible ending.
It is. Very powerful in a quiet way.
Yeah. So we very much hope that you enjoy this first concert of ours for the year, and also the second and third of our subscription series. We're looking forward to inviting first violinist Susie Park in our second subscription tour, and then also Sophie Rowell, who is a very familiar face in the Australian String Quartet family, of course, for our third tour.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you later.